Hey, what's up everybody? It's Kai-Fi. I'm glad you could be here. If you are new, welcome. This is a Kai-Fi theory. If you are returning, you already know what's good. I got a couple of messages for us today, and I'm going to get to that. But before I get to it, this is the Zin-Finity Board. It is going to be known as the masculine approach to Tarot. It is an elementally energetic grid that flows in a 21-part circuit, housing all aspects of the mind in a still life version. So basically, imagine your life on pause and there's a menu that comes up. Now these are the elements of that menu. You have 10 perspectives and 5 worlds. So these perspectives basically embody all that you can think of, anything that you can possibly think of, and it's here. So this is why this board is so important, and we're gonna get straight to the messages because I felt like it was important today for me to make a message today. There was a lot that went on. I got some disturbing news. Not really disturbing, but my uncle passed, and it was the oldest male in my family, basically, that I knew of. So it's my oldest uncle. And I always wanted to show him how this would be when it made it to the level that I imagine and dream. But I know he sees it now, and you know, this reading is for him. So if I got it, I got it. So let me know if I got it. But I do have messages. If you saw the title, you saw true love has no need for strings attached. So if you are in love with somebody, there is a magnetic pull. That's the truth, right? You do not have to restrain a person who is in love with you to stay with you. You don't. That's not love. That's a love string. That's a heart string in place for them to stay in place. So there is love, which I told y'all is movement, right? But what is true love? We are after true love, which is the love that we're thinking about. We're after true love. Now, imagine this. When you give what you believe as true love to somebody and they don't even understand the scale of the love that you're giving to them, it's going to seem like something different because, you know, they just don't understand it. So how could it come off for some of the people that you love? And in conversations and arguments, you have things like, oh, somebody's pulling on your heartstrings. Now, what is that all about? Every line on the Tree of Life is a major arcana, and those are movement cards, which I call love cards here. So those are the strings of love that we're talking about. Sometimes there's a person that you love that motivates you to do what you need to do in your life. Then there's a person that somehow automatically gives you the space available. So not like they have a car and you can go anywhere with that car now, but it's more spiritual. But in that sense, they have a car in the spirit and they're able to go in different places and help your ambition in certain ways and give you that space to be you. There are certain people who do that better than other people. So when we come into contact with somebody, there's levels of union or bonding. There's levels of bonding that can happen. So those levels are communication, relationships, and then friendships. So friendship is the highest vibrational. Communication is the lowest vibrational form of bonding, right? But it still has its benefits and its, reasons for being there. I'm saying low vibrational, but it's just higher when it comes up to friendship. So your friends, if the person that you love is also your friend, that's when, if you look at the Tree of Life, friendship is with Hokmah, right? So Hokmah is over here. Hokmah is basically in the world of emanation where your imagination is. This person lives free, rent-free in your imagination. So that can go powerful both ways. If they were a friend first, and now they may seem like a foe, that imagination is taking over the situation. So our spirits, basically our auras, they get intertwined, and then these thoughts basically pass through the aura, and next thing you know, you're thinking, you're imagining things that it don't really come from you. But you don't even have to be next to the person, because quantum physics say we're all attached at the same time. So we're all linked at the same time, right? There's so many things. So basically, in tough relationships, I'm just going to use tough. In tough relationships, you level up through toxicity, because toxicity is an energy, and it is a beautiful energy that can be transmuted. It's a good thing for you to understand how that toxic situation could manifest into something peaceful. Even though you understand it, both parties have to be willing to do that, so you can understand where the willingness come into play. There's so many messages that come up with what true love is. The true love is, I'm willing to move for you for what you want to do in your ambition, and you're willing to do the same for me, but not get in the way. Or the fact is, there is a dream that God has for y'all in the first place that doesn't even, it just lines up like this, and y'all can just hold hands. It never, nobody ever bumps heads with what they want to do. But, it requires a lack of ego. Ego is not the bad thing. It's basically what we deem ego as. So our consciousness has ego, right? So that's what that means. And within a union, because we are fitted, male is on the world of formation, female is in the world of creation, male is in the world of emanation, basically with time, and female is with the world of manifestation, and that's manifestation, birthing things, creating things, and things like that. So when you come into union, your energy wants to be at rest in these positions, because the other one is fitted for both positions. Even though you are one whole being yourself, your energy can be fixed on one side, their energy can be fixed on this side, creating a new being, a new consciousness that's called basically the dream where you guys want to be. It's an aspiration. It's a consciousness of an aspiration. The most beautiful position that you can see, the spirit, you guys' spirit can see, because sometimes our ego gets in the way. The only reason our ego gets in the way is because our dreams, our fantasies are created through fear. Our fantasies are created with our mind, and our mind has the ability to have fear. Our spirit comes from above, comes from source. It doesn't innately know fear. It just reacts to what your mind is doing, right? But the dream came through spirit initially, and it can only be misunderstood by the fantasies that you create. So we go through harsh things when we're young, and the next thing you know, you say, I have a dream, or that's a fantasy, where I'm protected from all of this, and I'm living and I'm thriving, and yada yada. How did that turn out? Are you still living for the fantasy, or are you living for the dream now? Because the true love goes with that dream, and there's no strings attached. The dream, the pieces of your dream stay attached to you. You can't even get rid of it. So no matter how much you try to neglect something that's a part of your dream, it's just going to be there like luggage until you deal with it. But yeah, I want to get these numbers out really quickly. Basically, I want you to guess or think of a number between 5 and 50. These are 5 platonic solids: earth, water, fire, air, ether, and they have the numbers. The total of sides is 50, the minimum is 5. So let's think about that really quickly, and let's get it. So let me order this between ether 14, fire 3, air 1, I said ether, no, my bad. Ether is 4, fire is 3, air is 1, water is 14, and earth is 5. So let me do this. So if you guess 27, this is the number for you. 27 is 3 nines and also a 9 in gematria. So 9 is very important right now. And 9 happens to be my number with your side in the tree of life. So what am I going to say that's going to actually get through that. I don't know why I said thick skull. So who has a thick skull? What does that mean? Not the willingness, the unwillingness of a person to accept an idea, accept a form, accept a thought, accept basically something that you concluded, right? Something that you say, okay, this is the truth that I found, and through this truth, this is how it goes. Are you willing to even hear it out? So there's a stubbornness there. Now, I like to talk about the doors being open and closed. Your energy, your aura already knows if you can give that person, it's called a seed, but if you can give that person a seed in general, you already know, whether it be through which chakra, and it'll show itself, and that would be the clear sense is, okay, this person might need a word of encouragement. This person might need $5 right now, but you'll know it, you'll understand it through just being around them. And the last message is life facts versus beliefs. So life facts are truths that you come to, right? Beliefs are things that you hold on to until you find that's true, right? Believing in something is not necessarily a truth until it's confirmed, right? So if you believe that something is for you and it's not the right thing, how would you know? And what would it look like? So that's important for somebody right now, because even though your ambitions and your intentions are pure, your intentions are pure in the wrong direction. How could that be? What do you mean? Basically, sometimes you need to make a left and go diagonal this way for a long time and then make another right. You understand? Because you had to go around a certain danger. You don't know, a mountain that you didn't want to go over. You know, something that you saw in your mind that was a very scary moment that God said, no, okay, cool. So go this, make this left, and that won't happen. And you're wondering why it's taking so long, but you're being protected. Imagine all the things that aren't happening. Imagine all the things that aren't happening right now. So yeah. So we're going to get into the reading right now. The readings did change. It's basically a universal law reading. So universal soul, Zin-Finity is about the laws, right? So the laws in the universe, there are 8 of them. I found a few more, but we're going to go down the line and they all have perspectives on them. And I'm going to show them where your sign links up with what part of the law of the universe it coincides with. So I hope you enjoy that information. Pause it when you need to. But I'm not going to explain it because I just want to get the reading out. Alright, so I got the downloads through, but the first part of the reading is Prima Materia. You could look it up in Greek medicine. It's basically the before energy, the energy before. The energy is like the start of it all, the source, right? This is the source of the information for this reading. Who, what, when, where, and why. We're about to figure this out right now. So put your pointers on to who you think it is, what you think it is, when you think that it happened or is going to happen, where it could happen within you and outside of you, and why you are here. What's your purpose and things like that. So yeah. For who, we have in the world of emanation, a fiery climax approaches. Full moon in Aries. So the Aries energy came out. We're going to get these descriptions really quickly. For what? Okay. For what is believe in the impossible. This is the blue moon. Now, this is in the world of manifestation. That's the person, the persona. This is basically the thing, right? It's very specific to what you could be thinking of. So feel free to keep pointing and making connections with me so you can understand fully what your spirit wants to say to you. Because this is a board for spirit to understand and for you to connect to your spirit. That's why this is so important. It's masculine. Anything that you feel, you can rely on this as like a mirror to understand it. Invert it. So you can, okay. So when is in the mind, the world of formation, And this is your dreams need a practical plan. So I was talking about dreams already, so this is probably going to be a really important one. And that's talking about your fantasy, because it's in the world of formation already. This is full moon in Taurus. So, where your commitment is being tested. Now, there's something that you probably promised God, like, oh, if you do this, I'll do this. I'll promise that you would never forget if you even tried. God won't let you. You can think of it right before you go to sleep. That thing, you treat it like laundry, so what do you think God is waiting for you to do? Switch that attitude up and treat it like it's the best thing for you, and the best things for you will come towards you. So yeah, we're going to put this over here. Now, the next card is, that was in the world of creation. Now the next card is why. And this is basically the most important question in life, honestly. Nothing will come of this situation. So that's why. Nothing will come out of it. Now, that's important because I talk about this all the time, so I guess I need to keep doing it. This is my phrase. God is nothing, nowhere, and nobody. And you know how I know? Anytime that you say I have nothing, I have nowhere to go, I have nobody to rely on, who could you at that moment, right? So make all those ties. Now let's talk about faith really quickly. Faith is the belief of nothing, nowhere, and nobody. Because you're believing in an external something to get the job done. You don't see how you can plan it out and get it done. You understand that there's a big gap in between what you can possibly do and what's offered for you at the time. So you understand that there are blessings. So basically, I would like you to trick your mind into believing that anytime that your mind says, your soul says, I have nothing, nowhere, and nobody, to take that as an opportunity to give God a chance to do something in your life. And you will see it because you have nothing around you. And that's what God wants you to know, that He is real, it don't matter. God wants you to know that He is real. So in order to make that happen once and for all, this is the reason why you're going through that. It's going to be so obvious that God is real, and the devil will never have another way to make you misunderstand that. Never. Alright, so let's get these explanations real quick. In regards for who is a fiery climax approaches, full moon in Aries. So, being assertive is good. Just don't ride roughshod over anymore. So, I don't know what roughshod is. Roughshod. ROUGHSHOD. Never heard of that. Never seen that. But if you know, you know. Put it in the comment. If you're in a tense situation, meditate your way into peace. Don't be a baby. Sorry, this could be the issue. You have to have more fun. So, even though don't be a baby comes in and you have to have more fun, that's kind of going against each other. But the thing is, we are children that believe that we are adults now. We are all children in God's eyes. And that child that you were when you came out at first, that fearless one, is the one that you're trying to get back to, because it wasn't a child. It was your pure soul. So, if that brings up who, put it in the comments. This is going to be the energy for what? Believe in the impossible, the blue moon. Miss this chance and it might not come back anytime soon. This is about what? What happened may only happen once. The person you are inquiring about is a rare find. You can't believe it, you can achieve it. If you can believe it, you can achieve it. Remember that belief I was talking about? So believing is holding on to something that you believe is true. And you require time for God to give you a confirmation on the truth of it. Right? But you always have to hold that energy. And as your heart grows, you have more energy to hold that easier. The situation is unlikely to repeat. So this situation is unlikely to repeat. And the affirmation is, I'm lucky. So the things that make you lucky. Alright. And we can move on from there. Your dreams need a practical plan in the place of when. And that's why you're not getting it. And you need a practical plan. Full moon in Taurus. So, laziness could explain your current situation. If so, change that and own it. Chasing money doesn't work. You need to chase a dream. This dream work is coming up. So, what is your dream work? Jealousy or envy create negative energy and attract negativity. More exercise is called for. Alright, so you can have people that you look up to, right? I had to deal with this recently. You can have people that you look up to that in your eyes, you would say that they're doing better than you. Time is relative. So you don't understand the time it took for them to get to that place. You don't understand. It could have took them years and then they had a good start. You never understand because you're not them. You don't understand what people go through. So the jealous factor of it makes you entitled to believe that what you've done so far is enough. But you're not the observer of the situation. God is. God has seen what you've been going through and knows that if he doesn't teach you the lesson, you won't be able to hold the blessing. Alright, so the next thing up is your commitment is being tested first quarter moon. So, the answer to your question is yes, but not yet. This is about where. You're halfway to your goal. You still need to put in a bit more effort. Sometimes you just need to realize how much we want something. You need to recommit to someone or something. This is where. A place. Something that you said you were going to do, it has to tell you. It was talking about the laziness over here. Because you need not to be lazy to get to this place to do this thing consistently. Discipline is in order. So this is what it's talking about. The discipline required to the commitment. The discipline for the actions required for the commitment. This is about that wish that you said. That said, God, if you do this, I'll do this. But you have to be committed to what it takes to do it for you to get it. It's not just magic. It's you work hand in hand with God. So yeah. It's a team effort. Alright, so the next card is for why. Nothing will come of this situation. The void of course moon. Alright, so the chances of something are diminishing. So the chances of something are diminishing. Something better may be around the corner. Believe that you will get what you need. Surrender to the divine. Take time out, meditate, and contemplate. So instead of rushing, thinking. More thinking is required. Watch the thinking. The solar plexus come out right now. The thinking. Right? And the affirmation is, I trust in my highest good. Alright. So I'm going to move on to the next part of the reading, which is the start of the laws. I'm going to give you a piece of what the attributes are, but I'm going to move on for the reading's sake. You know what I mean? So, like I said before, pause the video when you need or when you want to reflect on the information. Alright. So I shuffled and all that. I don't cheat. I can't. I want that one. So, starting off, we have the Eight of Wands, or I have these upside down. So, the Eight of Wands reversed in the place of mentalism, right? So, mentalism is for Pisces. This is the Pisces energy, the law of the universe, the highest law. This is where you, as a Pisces or Pisces in your life, would have like a more innate ability towards. So, if you want to know about your imagination, or if somebody is doing something with your imagination, let's get the Eight of Wands real quick. This is panic, waiting, slowing down. But this has to do with your soul. But this is a process that you obviously need when it comes to, it said contemplation or something like that, right? If you need to slow down. So that's your ability. Because you can, and because you're able to do so many things, you think that that's the right course of action. But a little bit more patience was required for you to find the right course of action. It wasn't the first turn, it was the next left turn. You know what I mean? But You saw the sign, but the sign said 2 more miles, not 2 feet. You know, whatever. So, that's the energy for mentalism. The next energy up is for duality, and it's 2 cards. So let me get it. It's for the light side of okay, I'm gonna get this one. Oh, it's 2. Okay. Okay, that was on its own. All right. So, the star reversed and the moon reversed on the dark side of the third eye. So the light side of the third eye is the soul star. The dark side of the third eye is the earth star. And basically the middle is the throat chakra. So it's 3 pieces to it, right? So let's get this energy for Aquarius right now, which is the light side of the third eye. And this is the 5 of Swords. Unbridled ambition, winning at all costs, and sneakiness. Now, this is an air energy and this is offsuit. What does that mean? Basically, there's energy that goes from the crown down to the root. And when it's blocked, which means that when it's offsuit, the energy, the pure energy, doesn't make it to the root. So this is the first issue, right? When it comes up to where you're going. And this is like the common theme of this reading right now. Slow down. Slow down. You don't have to be sneaky. You don't have to try to, petition God to say that you are ready. Just do the things that make you more ready. Right. So that was Aquarius. And so this is let me go backwards real quick. What crowns the reading is I be, your being, who you're going to become at the beginning and the end of every day, right? Over here is I want, which is Aquarius, right? And this is a part of duality. This side, the dark side, is I need, and this is Capricorn. And 2 cards came up. So let's see, this is air and water, and they could both be on this side, so this is on suit. So let me get the star first, then the moon. So insecurity, discouragement, and faithlessness. Oh man, I don't know what it is about your blessing or what God is preparing you for, but you had to believe that there wasn't really a God. As spiritual as you are, you had to believe or even fathom, like, maybe there isn't a God and I have to do something for this myself. Because you rely on God's power too much. So I'm going to just say it for how God said it. God let the devil trick you into believing that he wasn't there so you can make a move. So your belief is strong, but you weren't moving because you were believing so hard. But that's the opposite of being in the ego. In your ego, you're moving so much. When you are super spiritual, that's being in your selfness. You have all the energy to yourself and you never reach out, right? So yeah, it goes from there, the star, to the moon. And this is confusion, fear, and misunderstandings. Now, this is in a place, well, when you see major arcanas in this board, major arcanas supersede every minor arcana on this board. So that means that it's something headed towards you. An event, a thing, who, what, when, where, why. Something headed towards you, a reason that you are going to understand why you were misunderstood in this journey. You're going to understand it. Why would God personally leave you with no closure or a way to get to a closure? We can't rely on people, but you're spiritual. We believe in God. We can rely on God, but it just takes a certain amount of lesson before. Okay, sometimes if there are 10 levels and you only reach the level 9 and that's all you had, sometimes you need that extra push to get you to 10. And that's what it looks like is happening right now. You needed that extra push to get through that cycle. So the next energy is vibration. The next law is vibration. And the sign that it goes for is Scorpio. It's up here. Vibration is up here. Then there's frequency, and then there's energy. But we have to do the light side first. So vibration, energy, and then frequency, right? Because you vibe out the energy, and then you get the power, right? And then you have to tune it up. So it's a little bit different on how it was told to me, basically, how God showed it to me. But yeah, let's get vibration really quickly. And this is the Scorpio energy. So that was too much. I'm not even going to pick those up. So 2 cards came up. The 9 of Cups and the 7 of Cups. Now, this is the place of fire, and this is the place of air, which means that both of these is off. So you had 2 chances of something being right, and it wound up being wrong. So it's like you were trying your luck, but your luck on the fantasy, that fear, just to make the fear subside. But you are not here to care about that. God has not given you the spirit of fear, but a power, love, and a sound mind. The sound mind is the most important, because all is mind. And if it's not sound, if it's not balanced, your mind is fighting each other for the energy. Let's get to Scorpio energy really quickly. It started with the 9 of Cups and ended with the 7 of Cups, 2 cups. So satisfaction, emotional stability, and luxury in a place where you imagine. So this is a tearful moment. It's almost like you're crying over the dream that you thought you had, which was the untrue fantasy, right? You're letting it go. That's what this is about. And this is the place where I know. That's the perspective of I know. So you know, absolutely know, and you feel this within your heart, that you need to let this certain part of the fantasy go, because it's not all wrong. It's just, diagonal. You have to turn back. It's just a little bit off because God needed you to shed a few things. It went from there to the 7 of Cups, and this is searching for purpose, choices, and daydreaming. Now, when you have the day and the dream, that's daydreaming. That's your soul and your consciousness working together to give your imagination a whole picture of what it wants, right? So daydreaming is very important in this case. Even though it's an emotional process, this has to be air or fire, which, it's mind or soul energy, right? You still have the potential for it. Yeah. So the next energy up, the next law up is energy, and this is for Sagittarius. And this is the High Priestess. The High Priestess is water, and this is offsuit. So when it comes up to what you will, right? When it comes up to the frequencies, vibration has 3 pieces, like I said. When it comes up to the frequency is more, the energy is more like flow, and ebb and flow, right? It's the flow side. So you're not flowing right now because you need that closure, you need that answer. But sometimes you have to move without an answer in darkness, because the answer, when you dig, it's basically dark under there. You don't know what's there. So as you keep digging, it gets darker, but then you find the treasure, right? I forgot what I said before, but I know that I know it linked up. But let me move on. Let me get the other card. Let me get Ebb right now. Okay. So Ebb is the Queen of Pentacles, and this is also offsuit. Right. Okay, I got that card out, but let me get the High Priestess really quickly. So this is inner voice, intuition, divine truth, wisdom, and unconscious. Now, there's an unconscious decision that needs to be made, meaning spirit wants you to do something. That's what that means, right? And in order for you to understand it, you need to feel it out. You need to understand, like, your spirit will let you know. It will give you like heart flutters. It will give you like, oh, this is it. You start sweating around this. Anxiety is not just anxiety. Anxiety is basically like your spirit is ready to take an action, So it's in your ego waiting for it to be released for that action. And since you don't release it, it goes up into your mind and confuses it. So it fuels your ego for the thing that you're about to do. It fuels your ego. But when you hold on to it, it becomes sorry, let me say it this way. It fuels your consciousness for what the task that it needs to do. But if your ego gets in the way, it holds on to it and your mind goes crazy. So yeah, I know what I said. Yeah. Okay. I guess I need to just keep going. But I'm going to put that here. That fell out. But yeah, let me get the Queen of Pentacles, and this is the place for Aries, right? So practicality, creature comforts, and financial security. These are the things that stop you from your desire, your true desire. The things that you see in the world that you were jealous of, that you got, you've acquired, but it didn't actually fill that void. Those are those things that you swore you desired. You went to get it, and you're sitting pretty, but you're sitting pretty in the fantasy that only leaves you at peace, right? Now that peace that I mentioned, what does that make peace? Peace is the opposite, or the contrast of peace is evolution. So higher vibrational peace is evolution. So peace is technically low vibrational because there's no growth. You're just there sitting comfortably and protected. Nothing's happening. But you did not live this life for nothing to happen. You came here for an adventure. So you came here to evolve and learn and things like that. Why waste your turn here? This is your time. Alright. So the next energy, the next law is polarity. Right? Now this is the Three of Pentacles, and this is offsuit. This needed to be air. We're going to fix this. Everything that's offsuit, what does that mean? As I said before, from the crown to the root, it stops that flow. So it started it right at the wheel. Right at Hokmah, which is the light side of the third eye. It didn't even get past your third eye. You still figuring it out. So let's get the Three of Pentacles. This is teamwork, collaboration, and building something. Now, people taking a place, your place, or you putting people in a place to do something for you, like you weren't meant to do it yourself, but thinking that you needed a team for this thing, because too many conscious minds in a way, it's too many egos changing what the dream truly was. It's too many chances of changing and misinterpreting what the dream is. This is why you have a leader, and this is why you have other people below, but also follow the leadership. The leadership knows the dream, the true vision. And, you know, who is the person that you have that's almost like your pillow talk buddy? It don't have to be in the bed, but it's the pillow talk. That pillow talk can confuse you too, because they are friend on the friend level. So they're in your imagination. They're on that level with you. So they basically control what you're doing according to their imagination also. Yeah. The next energy up is the solar plexus. Now this is a little confusing, but I got you. Alright, so I'm going to start like this. I'm going to start just like that. So it's Taurus, Gemini, Libra, Virgo. Right. On the tree of life, you have those 4 signs. None of them are fire. You did have fire cards that came out, but that's not important right now. What I need you to understand is earth falls. There are no signs within the root chakra on the tree of life. Nothing. There's nothing there, right? So what happens with this? Taurus and Virgo fall down into your manifestation after it's built with the solar plexus, right? So that's what that means. So that's what happens. So in the solar plexus now, we're going to talk about Gemini and Libra, starting with Gemini first. So let's get this. Now this is on suit, and technically this is off suit, but I won't even count it right now because one of them are. And also air is compatible with fire. Basically, they support each other. So these are two things that are happening. It's the 9 and the 10. So I told you 9 was important. So the 9 of Cups came out and the 9 of Wands came out. Watch. So let's get the 9 of Wands. Now this is for Gemini. Resilience, grit, and taking the last stand. Now, this is on suit. And what Gemini does well is see how it's going to sway. Y'all call them two-faced, but it's such a beautiful power to see both sides of consciousness and selfness. I call that's spirit. So consciousness and selfness, right? And then you have spirit and ego. Those are the parallels. Consciousness and selfness. Spirit and mind. I said ego, sorry. Spirit and mind, right? Right. But that's a beautiful ability to see what's going to happen. So when you switch up on them, it's like they're already switched up because you decided to change the energy. And the reason why you feel like it's two-faced is because as soon as you did it, the mirror was put back on you, right? So shout outs to Geminis. Y'all not two-faced. I don't like that. We are all on the same team in the first place. So how could anything be innately negative, right? We are all pieces of God on the same team. We are all doing something positive, good intentions. So no sign is innately negative. Everything is actually neutral. We're the negative ones. So I went from there to Libra, which is technically on suit because this is air. So this is also good. I'm going to just leave it just like this. Yeah. Alright. So the 10 of Swords for Libra. Failure, collapse, and defeat. Why did you have to do that? Because you have to contemplate. And Libra is about the justice in the situation. Your heart grows according to how much justice you can uphold. Because the justice of the situation says you believe that you can do what you want, when you need it to get God's will done, your will done. That's the justice of the situation. At the end of the day, that's what should happen. You should have nothing in your way between you and God. Nothing. But it's injustice when you have things in the way, right? So according to how severe you are with that process of pushing things out, keeping things away, that's Libra, right? Being done with it. Then you gain more spirit power for what you can basically achieve, right? Like it's more communication. More spirit power you have, the better the communication you have with your spirit, right? So that's why you have to be stopped really quickly. But this is in a place of your rhythm. This is the pressure to think and not to think. So Gemini is the pressure to think. Sorry. Gemini is the perspective to think. And Libra is the perspective not to think. Because sometimes you have to keep it out of your mind. Like, no, that's not for me. This is for me. It's like the correction of it all. Right? So the next energy, the next law that I'm going to get is cause and effect. Now this is my sign, Cancer sign, favorite place on the board, right? And this is the Lovers card, which is the Gemini card that just came out. So this is off suit, but you see the perspective, right? So let me get the Lovers really quick. This is a major arcana, so it's something given to the feelings. Something's going to feel for you. Somebody's gonna feel you out. You are not. You're gonna become more magnetic. That's more attractive to things, right? So the Lovers. This is partnerships, union, and duality. So I just mentioned union, right? Of course, union is gonna be here, but union between the divine masculine and the divine feminine. In this domain, in this realm. Where we are right here, this physical realm, the divine masculine and the feminine always gets interpreted by people. Has nothing to do with people. We are temples, which makes us walking buildings, hosts for the heavenly, right? If you understand that, there's so much I want to talk about, but we're gonna keep going from there. So you're a walking building, and you allow things in and you push things out of your walking building, your temple, right? So the union between the mental side and the spiritual side is talked about when it comes up to your feelings. And that's what's important right now. There's a bigger picture. Something to believe in, a bigger picture. I saw it. I don't even know where I saw it. It was something about a bigger picture. It was one of these moons. But yeah. So that was the lover's energy, and that was cause and effect, right? That was the perspective of I feel. Moving on to Taurus and Virgo, right? No Earth. So both of these are offsuit. I just wanted to see something real quick. God gave me a message. This is the page and the king. So even though you believe your manifestations will work, and this is why your soul is all into it, you're so passionate about it, but it will not cause stability because it's not the things that are meant for you. So even though, like I said before, you have the ability, you're a very capable being. And that's what people don't like about you. This is why people stop you all the time. You're very capable. Yeah. So let me get Taurus really quickly with the King of Swords. So this is head over heart, discipline, and truth. I remember that truth was coming up, right? The truth of the situation is that you know you need to take a seat. And you know this, but you also know that you have a certain amount of time left on this earth. So it keeps you anxious to wait for the next sign, the next actual turn to go. It's like the GPS is lagging, right? But that's okay. It's lagging because you're supposed to keep going forward. You don't need a message yet because you need to keep doing whatever it is that God told you to do. Alright, so for Virgo, we have the Page of Wands. So this is exploration, excitement, and freedom. You want the things that will leave you with a sense of freedom instead of fear. The things that other people have that you see that keeps them in a state of, abundance and joy and all this other stuff. They're rich because they did this, so you're going to do the same thing. Sometimes that way is just for them. They can hustle in that method. Maybe you're not built for that type of hustle, right? So that's what's making you feel unsafe. And this is the place of I am. And if you are unsafe, you will not move. Fear stops everything from happening. And you don't have peace. So yeah. That was the law of generation. I forgot to say it, but I know it was on there, right? The next law is care. This is the 8th law of the universe, care. And what does this mean? NASA just revealed that Ophiuchus, however you say it, I'm gonna learn it officially. That was funny to me. Oh man. Officially. Alright, so that's it. You are the Ophiuchus. That's it. And what do? Basically, this is care. Everything that you see here that's off suit is imbalance. And care is about the divine mother, which is this circle right here. Circle is for feminine, the triangle is for the masculine, right? So the Ophiuchus is known as a serpent bearer. The serpent is right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It goes in a Z shape, right? So that's basically the tail end of the serpent, right? And it's the bearer in this matrix of a womb. So that's how I know Ophiuchus is the leader of what we're about to do right now. So this is all about balance, and it's balancing the energy. So what I'm going to do is these white cards is going to represent the time and the energy required to fix the energies that's off right now. So yeah. The first energy that was off is in a place of I will, right? And it completed with the 6 of Pentacles. So let's get this. It started off with the 5 of Swords, and then it went to the 6 of Pentacles. A little bit over. Watch this. Charity, generosity, and sharing. Right. Because you were being sneaky before. Now you're sharing your secrets. Because the thing is, they were not secrets. You are an angelic being. You were sent to be an angel for somebody sometimes too. So what if you can tell them something that will help them get moving? And like I said, movement, love is movement. And we are moving for balance. That's what we want to do. We want to balance the situation so you can grow. When you have balance, you have peace. And therefore you will grow. So that's the idea. So the next energy that was off is in I will. So this is the masculine side. This is the side that gets things done. Doesn't have to necessarily do with the man, but you can understand that you can choose to see it how you see it. It's for the situation, it's for the situation. Don't let me stop you. So I will, it started off with the High Priestess. And let's get the energy that clarifies. Now this is the 9 of Swords. I told you these 9s. No, this is the 8 of Swords. Sorry. See, I'm seeing 9s all over the place. I'm making mistakes and everything. But that's still off suit. Let me see what came out. So the Chariot and more Swords came out. So water and air came out. So it's still not finished yet. It needs to be fire or earth. And none of them are here. So let's keep going. The Star card. It came out again. So what you... Oh, watch this. Watch. I'm gonna get to it. I don't know why all of these cards coming out. I'm gonna get a fire earth. A whole new deck, and it's not showing because there's a whole message. 6 of Swords. Oh, snap. I don't know how I caught that, but I like this one. The Hangman. No, I'm gonna keep going. Because it ain't no way. Oh. That's the first time I even seen fire when I flipped over. I'm sure there's fire in this deck. King of Cups. Alright. This is the card I saw that came out. That's crazy. Alright. So, let me just put this together. This is probably going to be the problem. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 cards came out before it was clarified. So I'm gonna run through that quick, but no, let me just get this now, because I'm excited for this. I already see you about to get an answer right now. So it started off with the High Priestess. That's about that the inner voice, intuition, divine truth, wisdom, and unconscious, right? The unconscious thing was the one that got me before. So it went from the unconscious thoughts, that spiritual action, right, to the 8 of Swords. Now this is imprisonment, entrapment, and self-victimization. So you're blaming yourself for not being able to do the thing, thinking that God wasn't the one halting you at the moment. Time is God's realm. Don't put yourself there. Just do what you need to do, because when you put yourself in that position to say that I did not do this within time, you're giving yourself a failure that doesn't even mean anything. You're trying to use God's power to hurt yourself. No, it's just no. And went from there to the 7 of Swords. So 8, 7. So deception, trickery, tactics, and strategy. That sneakiness that was coming out over here, it leached into what you were doing. So that's what that meant. And went from there to the Chariot. This is a Cancer card, right? So Chariot is about getting the spirit, about being the apparatus for spirit, being the one that gets the spiritual work done. knowing what the work is and going towards it. So this is how you carry spirit to the next destination. So yeah. So the Chariot. Major Arcana energy coming towards you. So spirit is coming towards you. So this is direction, control, and willpower. The control of the spirit is important because it's not chaotic. That means there's less toxicity when you decide to do things yourself for your spirit. So selfishness is not necessarily negative. It's how we see it. You're doing for spirit, and we call that selfish. But sometimes you can have negative intentions on other people for yourself, and that's where it gets a little swayed. So the next card that came up was a Star, more on Major Arcana. Hope, faith, and rejuvenation. Before, it was insecurity, discouragement, and faithlessness. Now it's hope, faith, and rejuvenation. So you're the message that you got, that dream is becoming more clear. So you were doing remember? You were doing a whole bunch because you're capable. And this is all about that capable ability. You're so capable, and this is why you made so many mistakes and so many turns and so many this, so many that. You were doing everything because you're capable. But watch when you find out the right direction to go. All that capability is for a reason. And went from there to the Six of Swords. So 8, 7, and 6 came out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I don't know what 8 countdown for you. This is the year of the 8. So by the end of this year, by December 31st, that's tomorrow for me, New Year's 2nd, something will happen. By that second, something will happen. So there's a countdown going for you. 7 of Swords. Oh, I already said it. Deception, trickery, and tactics. But the Hanged Man had came up. And let me see what this is. Sacrifice, release, and martyrdom. Now, the martyr is, you know how you give your life to God? You know how you go and say, do you accept Jesus as your personal savior? You know what I mean? The martyr is the one that dies in you, the one that was fighting for that cause, that decided to push his ego aside, her ego aside for the spiritual cause. Now that person is a martyr because your spirit knows what you went through and will not let that martyr die in vain. You had to give that up to become that new person, that phoenix moment. So God remembers that. And that's what's coming up right now. So it went from there to the King of Cups. And this is compassion, control, and balance. That balance energy. But this is balanced emotions towards what you're about to do. So it's about, you see, he's sitting down, waiting for the emotional moment. So it's almost like you're still being triggered, but it's like you're being triggered after you confirm it. So that's great. But don't allow them to get that energy at all. That energy is toxic in you, and you release it because you don't want that toxicity. But it can be transmuted into potential, and that potential energy is for you. And this is how you can say, you can eat the data. And all right, what that means is all emotion is data and energy. And then you give it life as a soul. You give it time, data and energy, and you give it time. The time you think about it, you are in that moment, and it's only data and energy. So you don't give that thought any time. And that's when that Libra energy came up. The 10 of Swords. Don't give that thought any time. Alright? And it doesn't have a hold on to you. And that's an addiction. You can be addicted to the time that you were with that person, with that thing, in that place. You can be addicted to it. But the coming down off of an addiction, I forgot the word for it. But when you're purging it, it looks different spiritually, mentally, and physically. There's a lot that goes on. So the last card that came up and what fixed the wheel is the 5 of Wands. This is competition, conflict, and rivalry. Now, rivals are good because they keep you in tip-top shape because you have the threat of losing, right? So you will always be evolving because of that threat. Now, that leaves you in a state of anxiety, yes. But, like I said, the belief in God kept you to be still and at peace. You were good with the peace. You don't want nothing else. But God wants you to go through the problems to turn it into potential. So, don't want peace. Want the problems. The problems are here for you. I'm circling now. So yeah. The next energy that needed to be fixed was desire. So let's see how far we get with this one. It needed to be air or water. All the air and water was coming out over here. So the Fool, air. Right. So went from the Queen of Pentacles to the Fool. Let's get that. I remember you were sitting in your manifestation thinking that was the right thing to have. And it wasn't filling that void. But the Fool energy, major arcana, something coming towards you. A new ambition, belief, like a new tactic, a new way to be, a new energy to have. The new part of you that wants to shine is coming out in your desires right now. So this is innocence, new beginnings, wonder, and foolishness. Foolishness is pure soul expression. That's what the Fool card is talking about. It's coming straight from your soul. It's like the link is like being in the zone for that one moment. You and your soul was at union and said, okay, I'm going to do this, and I did it. And it's done. That was a Fool. You wanted to go to the left side of the 3-point line instead of the right, even though the coach said go to the right. You were a Fool and went to the left, and your whole team went to the right, and all the defense went to the right too, leaving you open. But you were a Fool to make that decision, right? This is where the Fool comes in handy. And that's with your desires. So the next energy that was off suit was in the heart chakra. And this is I love. But you love out of the situation. Look at that. One card. The Moon. The Moon already came out. Wow. So the Star and the Moon came out. And the Tower card. Reversed. Now the air don't want to come out. Alright. There you go. Alright, so this is about the space in your heart. Your heart is basically how vast your mind is and how much of it is claimed by the people and the trials of your life. So as far as you can expand your mind is the space of your heart, right? If somebody lives in your head rent-free, like a lover or something like that, they have a lot of space in your mind. Therefore, you cannot move on certain things. You don't have the full capacity of your heart to move on to something. I hope this is making sense. So the first energy for that came up was the Moon. I read the Moon before, but it was reversed before. So this is unconscious, illusion, intuition, and fantasy. Now that fantasy came out again. The fantasy and the dream is talking to us right now. But the Moon card is over here in a place of your active purpose, right? So you judge the situation and it's revealed to you what you should do with it. And therefore you will act, right? That's the reason for this side right here, the Judgment and the Moon. So that's that. Then the Tower moment. The Tower is, you build a tower, right? You can see with your mind's eye, your heart's scope, right? As far as you can see. Then you claim or go through everything within that vision. And your tower gets all of these items. It's full. Now you can't grow anymore. You have completed the whole cycle with that tower. In order to grow the tower higher so you can see from a higher perspective, the tower needs to come down. So that's the tower energy, right? So this came out in reverse, and it said disaster avoided, delayed disaster, and fear of suffering. Remember that rival energy right there? But this is why it's delayed. You were able to build a tower outside of the tower and just almost like eat the insides to make it better. You were able to expand on the tower instead of it falling down. But, you know, sometimes that required a lot of energy from you. You're a capable being. You did it, but you went all the way around the mountain instead of going through the tunnel that leads you straight through. You know? It was a roundabout way to get it done, but you got it done. It went from there to the 8 of Wands. And I know the 8 of Wands came out before. I don't know where. Oh, the 8 of Wands right here, reversed. So your being. This is rapid action, movement, and quick decisions. So your being is panicking, waiting, and slowing down. That's when you're at your brightest, your most powerful. When you act accordingly and don't rush. That's where your soul is the most powerful. But when it comes to your heart space, what you've been doing with your mind and everything, right? What you've been doing with that, you have been acting rapidly, moving, and quick-witted, quick decisions, not thinking over things. But that's in, you know, time is relative. But I get the sense that this is in the past or something that you're willing to put away right now. So I went from there to the 8 of Cups. And this is walking away, disillusionment, and leaving behind, right? And another countdown came to my mind, 987. So 987 is weird. All right. So the next card that finished off that energy is the 2 of Swords. This is difficult choices. Difficult choices, indecision, and stalemate. Stalemate is great right now because nothing is happening with your mind. You're allowing yourself to see the situation for what it is. But this is spiritual. It's not conscious. You're allowing your spirit to tell you what's up. And that has to do with that meditation. I know it came out over here. It did come out on this side. So yeah. That fixed that energy. With the solar plexus, like I said before, this is good. Nothing to do here. So that's the Gemini and the Libra energies right now. Those energies are good. You are all. You are everything. But to pinpoint things, Libra and Gemini is good. The next energy that was off is I feel. So what are you feeling? Hopefully this doesn't take so long to complete because it just needs water. A little emotion that was here before. So the Hermit and the Knight of Cups came out. You can't even go wrong with that. So let's get this really quickly. It started off with the Lovers. I remember that was the Gemini energy, being able to see both sides of the situation and act accordingly. But this is a mental thing, and you're just doing it with a lackluster of emotion. It's not an emotional process. You're not you're not feeling it out, right? And went from there to completely going within yourself and dealing with yourself only, right? The Hermit card. So this is contemplation, searching for truth, and inner guidance. So that inner truth, your inner light, is basically like your reason for being, your soul holding the on switch. Like it's just that kind of thing. But you take that with you, going through the dark night of the soul, ending up in the heart space, and making this a hearth. You know what I mean? A hearth is basically a fireplace, a big old fire. And around the fireplace, you can have a village. Like that's that kind of thing that's setting up right now. So you're going to find that village. Once you go within, it's going to be attracted to you. Or you're going to be attracted to it. You're going to land there somehow. And went from there to the Knight of Cups, which faced the energy. And let's get that. Oh, this is the Knight. That's why. The King was out somewhere. But yeah. The Knight of Cups is following the heart, idealistic and romantic. So anytime romance comes up, I always want to talk about romance. Romance is dead, but there's a reason for it. Romance builds potential. It's like a meter that goes up and goes down. That's what romance is. It's potential there, potential not there. Once the romance is dead, the romance is dead. And that's a thing. That's an actual thing. It's a bar that you have to keep up. Why? Because it's the potential for the other person to do for you. Even though that person loves you, they need energy to love you too. It's an even exchange so that they don't run out and you don't run out. But yeah, that even exchange is coming. Next up, and what finishes this part of the reading, was I Am, and that was off. So let's get this. It should be Earth. Not many Earth cards came out, so it should be a lot in here. So a lot came out just now. Oh, actually 2 just came out, so I could do that. And went from the 4 of Cups to the 7 of Pentacles. So that completed that. It happened pretty quickly. Alright, so 4 of Cups. Well, let me explain this real quickly. Taurus and Virgo was off suit. Both of them at the same time. So none of them was able to complete the energy. But Virgo is more in the ego, more in the mind. Virgo is more in the soul, contemplating with the soul right now. The Taurus is contemplating in the mind right now. But both of them aren't getting anything done because they're not where they need to be, which is in the action. Both of these things it's like burning up your manifestations, getting rid of things that don't need to be getting rid of. It's like aiming wrong. And when you thought about that, you started to sit down. The sitting down energy, waiting before you take an action. And when you wait, you get the actual blessing there for you. So 4 Cups, this is apathy, contemplation, and disconnectedness. God knows how to reach you. So if you are apathetic, and then you have like a surge of love and this kind of thing, you can understand that you didn't let that in. That came from within. So it's not a thing that you can be that you can be apathetic to. It comes from within you. So there's a love that can come from within you other than outside. But apathy is the inability to see from somebody else's perspective. Empathy is the ability to see from somebody else's perspective. I couldn't even say it. And then ended with the 7 of Pentacles. This is hard work, perseverance, and diligence. Now, discipline and diligence, I said discipline before, but diligence came up. Doing the thing for as long as it takes, right? That was very, but if that's what it requires that. So if somebody's being impatient with your process, or you are impatient with the process, vice versa, take it how it resonates. That's the reason. The process, you now understand the process, and that's giving you a sense of fearlessness because you are capable. All you needed to know was the lane. Alright, so the next part of the reading is the star stream. Now, this is the 9th law. It's about the Kundalini energy, the tail end that I mentioned before. We live in this realm of the physical, right? So we can only go up to Da'at, which is the end of all things, right? So we're going to do that from the earth element, earth, water, fire, air, ether, right? And this means experimentation. If I experiment, if I express, if I integrate, if I transcend, then I will ascend or evolve, right? Transcending is leveling up. Ascending is evolving. It's like Pokemon. So yeah, let's get these. The first card that came up was a card that I said, let me put this somewhere else. Let me shuffle it. Power. As soon as I split the deck, I saw it and I was like, watch it come out. And I couldn't even express a sense of power. Now, in the place of, sorry, that's experiment with your power. The expression is of the air. So if you express your mind, then they could see if they fit or not. Because vulnerability is, scary, but it gets the job done. Because either they're going to try to take advantage of you, which it won't happen because you're smart, or it's going to show them where they fit and what they can do about it. It'll make them safe. It'll give them a sense of ease. But please charge. It'll charge them up. Because now they're not thinking of the deception behind the issue. Vice versa. Now you won't be thinking of the deception behind the issue if you can ask them to speak up. But you can't be afraid of the truth. That's the issue. It went from there. Next card is if you integrate a sense of magic into your life. So you understand magic. It's like daydreaming is a sense of magic, right? You're just like somewhere, but you're not here, and you could be doing so many things in your daydream, right? But imagine if that daydream was to automatically manifest as something in front of you. The coincidences you're about to experience are phenomenal. Just do the thing, and the thing will be changed for you because God wants certain things to change. Just do the thing. God is with time. So if you put time to something, God can work with it. If you're not doing anything, you're not giving the time to the issue. God controls the time. Do you understand that? So yeah. The next up is transcendence, and I mentioned Stormy. I don't know if I mentioned it out loud or not, because I was saying that it was a lot of water and it was very stormy, right? That's what I was saying. The star, the moon, so the star is air, but moon, all this other stuff came out, and I was like, what's going on? It sounds like a storm. But that's transcendence. That's how you transcend. And how you evolve is releasing. So, let's get this explanations really quickly. So, you experiment with a sense of power. You are powerful. You are worthy. You are sovereign. It is time to remember your worth. That's important, your worth. Because people underestimate your worth and think that you're not fit. Right? But the thing is, it's only, sometimes people share their secrets, the things that they were supposed to share with you for you to grow, because they're jealous of where you're going. Because you know how there are some people who can write songs, but they can't sing? They want to be that singer. Some of them just want to be the writer. But for the people who want to sing and can't, but can write up a storm, imagine they're jealous of that. But their beauty, what makes them powerful, is the fact that they can write. The stars will come towards you. Hey, I need you to write a song for me. That's the power behind it. That's where you're most magnetic and attractive. So work with your attractiveness and not what your ego says that where it wants to be. Work with the piece that you fit in this universe. Work with where you're flowing and build that current up. I don't know why I held power. But, yeah, that's why. There is no need to play small here. You are being granted permission to display your strengths for all to see at this time. So don't be shy. Be a fool. The next card is air in the place of if I express. If you express your emotions logically, critically, with facts and information and research, and reason with the person, you may also need more information, right? So drawing this card asks you to call on the element of air to help you find healthy resolutions. Meditate with this symbol to call on more of the air element in your life, enhance logical thought, and inspire new ideas. So logic and emotion are meant for each other, but in balance. When you express yourself truthfully with your spirit, it's almost like it's unmovable because it's the truth. Truth is something that's unmovable. It's just the truth, right? So if you express logically, you'll express your truth. So the next up is integration, and this is magic. You are a magical being. Time to stop hiding the awe-inspiring abilities you have to connect to the divine. Join the pinnacle. This is a pinnacle, by the way. Invites you to connect with your personal magic on a deeper level at this time. Working with the phases of the moon in ritual with herbs and candles and crystal work and spell work are some ways to connect to our magic. I get it. We are in a matrix. You have to do matrix-like things according to what the matrix does and the causes and effects of things to start winning. Because this world, the powers in this world, know the rules. God made these rules. And they're using the rules against us. And I put all the rules on this board. And watch when this app comes out, we'll be able to use the rules for us. So yeah, that was magic. Next up is stormy. And this is in a place of transcendence, how you level up, right? Drama straight ahead. Prepare and brace yourself. Conditions are not favorable at this time. Wait the storm out before proceeding. This is about the ebb of the situation. So there's ebb and flow. Ebb is allowing the things to happen, allowing yourself to be shifted into place for the current. Right? So this is what that storm is about. Meditate on this when you want to call on your sea legs to help keep safe and secure through a hardship or stressful period. If you are inquiring about a relationship, please be warned at this time that the situation will bring out an upheaval to your path. Proceed with caution. So the eye of the storm is very important because you can travel with the eye of the storm and let that be your covering. Not many people is going to get to that eye. So you can use it for you or against you. You can understand that the storm puts you alone and now you have a big old place for yourself. Your mind is sound and it's all for yourself. Eventually, you have to get those thoughts out. So, the next card, how you evolve, how you ascend, is the last card of the reading, which is release. So let's get that. Without delay. Cut the course to any unhealthy or toxic people, places, energy, habits, and beliefs. This is the time to stand in your truth without that truth word, without cutting anyone down in the process. Important. Meditate on this when you want to be the spiritual warrior with love, honor, and compassion. So, without cutting anyone down in the process. Revenge is not the reason you were put through that trial. Experience and knowledge is the reason. You wanted to grow. You wanted to become more of who you are in your soul. You wanted to bring that soul energy down here. Full expression of it. So there are things that you needed to learn in order to bring it down here. So don't regret the things that you went through. No matter how hard it was, no matter how hard it is to still keep going through. Pause. But it's meant for you. So take it how it resonates and move accordingly with the new information that you get. Knowledge is not power. Knowledge is experience points to your skills, which make you more powerful. So yeah, that was the last message. So yeah, if you enjoyed this reading, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Basically, I mentioned the app before. This is going to be for the whole spiritual community. So imagine your favorite reader in my seat on an app with everything that I cannot explain, everything I want to talk about, just at your disposal to understand the full expression of your spirit. That's what it's for. So that's why I'm here. This is my ambition. I'm eventually going to be, doing this full time. So wish me luck. And as I said before, the Zin-Finity Board is going to be the masculine approach to tarot. So I believe tarot is very feminine. Y'all see the cards and then spirit takes over. So when you get here, you see the card spirit gives its energy and the mind manages it. So that's the difference. That's the reason for it. And if you like it, like I said before, like, share, and subscribe. If you're interested in a reading, my email is in the description. Also, send an email and I will get back to you with the details. So with all that said and done, I appreciate you. I love you. Thank you for staying to the end. I'm Kafa. Peace.